What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the F124 Ferrari driver career mode. Yes, we are back this weekend at the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix, round 13 of the season. So now we have officially caught and passed the real-life 2024 Formula 1 season. So, car felt pretty decent throughout practice. The crucial thing is, my qualifying pace simulation said 5th. And it was kind of a scruffy lap. But I don't know if we will have enough to win this weekend's Grand Prix. A podium might be available to us, but we will have to really seriously fight for it and be ahead on strategy. This car has quite a bit of downforce, but I don't think it has enough downforce to compete with our rivals such as Red Bull and maybe even McLaren this weekend. And in the championship, we are behind Max Verstappen, so we need to make sure we take a decent chunk out of his lead this weekend, but we still lead the constructor standings by a slightly healthy amount. So yeah, let's jump straight into the Hungarian Grand Prix qualifying.
Pit stops, no strategy. It's all about the pace today. Qualifying day here at the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix.
So as we are about to start our first lap of qualifying, my word, this track is intimidating. As we enter the first competitive session of the weekend, car has not really been biting through the final sector in some of these slower corners. So now we head out onto the main straight, DRS wide open. Let's see what we can do for our first run in Q1. Get the car nice and slowed down. Into the first turn, little kick of wheel spin there. Got to make sure we go wider on the exit as now we head through this infamous corner as we just get onto the curb there. And that will probably be this lap now, pretty much set as a write-off. But yeah, that infamous corner where Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hülkenberg had that incident in 2017 and in the post-race interview. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go look it up. Now as we head out of the final corner, got to be very patient on the throttle there. As now we head up towards the line, and it's going to be 7th behind Sargent and Joe. So yeah, like I said, this lap pretty much a write-off. We are 2/10 away from Joe's, and we need to find about 7/10 if we want to progress into the next qualifying session. As long as we don't choke, should be fairly straightforward. So now we go down into turn 1. Whoa, too wide. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. Okay, so I made that mistake. I went too wide on the exit. So now I'm going to manage these tires. Yes, Mark, I know. I'm going to go all the way around the track and see if I can get another run in. Okay, now I'm going to switch the car back into hot lap mode. Now we should be able to go for another run. Hopefully we don't make the same mistake. I nearly thought that was qualifying over for us, because if we had ripped the front wing off, then that would have been our qualifying done and dusted because of the amount of time it would have taken to repair the car. But now, for the first time in a while, I need to have a focused lap in Q1. Well, my prediction was we needed about 7/10 if we wanted to progress into the next session. Not sure how correct I am on that, but I should be pretty close. So now we're going to head through the final corner, try to get on the throttle as early as humanly possible. And now we're going to go up towards the line, and it's going to be only P14. That might be us out in qualifying 1. Well, here at the end of Q1, George Russell tops the timing sheets. Our teammate Charles Leclerc up in 3rd. We are out in Q1 by less than a tenth of a second from Yuki Tsunoda. So, not the best start to the weekend, but look at that. Logan Sargent going quicker than his teammate at the first part of qualifying, and Kick Sauber seemed to have some pace here, so clearly this track shaking up the order. Lando Norris out as well, so we're going to have to start making some serious moves around this Hungaroring here. We have a brand new engine in the car, or not engine, but a few engine components, so maybe those can help us move through the field as well, but we're going to have to make some really unorthodox passes if we want any chance of scoring points here today.
Welcome to Budapest once again for another round of Formula One action. Historically, a good race for first-time victories, with Button, Hill, Alonso and Heikki Kovalainen all reaching the top step of the podium for the very first time right here. We're northeast of Budapest for today's race at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring circuit. 14 corners here, 8 to the right and 6 to the left, on a track where downforce is king and passing is notoriously difficult. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Perez, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Russell, Hamilton, Stroll, Gasly, Ricciardo, Albon, Magnussen, Bottas, Sargent, Joe, Tsunoda, Mr. Monaco, Norris, Hülkenberg, and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today.
Well, here we are, sat on the grid, P17 for the Hungarian Grand Prix, as Crofty said. Notorious for difficulty passing is the Hungaroring, but 35 laps ahead of us. Could we try something different? The team reckon it's only about 8 or so seconds slower for a 2-stop. Should we risk it? No. I think we just go with this strategy for now. See what we can do, starting on the mediums.
The formation lap gets underway then, and it's going to be interesting today to see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tyres.
Well, there we go. Everyone's starting on the medium tires. Max Verstappen leads the field away from Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez, Fernando Alonso, and Oscar Piastri. Then comes the 2 Mercedes, Stroll, Gasly, Ricciardo.
So as all the cars reform the grids, the drivers will be hoping to get a strong start. They'll want to earn some valuable points in today's race, with final communications being done with their race engineers, ensuring the planned strategies are all in place.
And right you are, Crafty. We will be wanting to nail this start. We're going to have to make some risky moves and unorthodox passes here today. Turn 1 isn't the only place you can pass, but is the most common and the most likely option. And now it is going to be 5 red lights ready for the Hungarian Grand Prix. And it is lights out, and away we go. Didn't have the highest rev count there, as now we drop all the way back to 19th. Lando Norris getting a decent getaway in that McLaren, as now we're just going to try to go up the inside. Little bit of contact there with Nico Hülkenberg, but now we shoot all the way up into the battle for nearly 12th. We were 12th at one point there. And now we're going to try to go right the way around the outside of Magnussen 2. Can we make it stick? No, we can't. So now we're down in 14th. So got the car nice and planted on the brakes into turn 1. Whoa, as we do a hop, skip, and a jump over the curb there, as we're still side by side with the Haas as we rejoin. And we force him out wide. And now he's going to be battling with Logan Sargent into the chicane. Can't go side by side through there, boys. Don't know if they had contact. But now Logan Sargent comes out ahead on that occasion. So yeah, now we're up in 13th behind Valtteri Bottas. So we need to keep this car stable through these corners. Tire management looked pretty decent. And there is a fine line between when I am managing and when I'm not, which is not really how it is for most circuits. Whoa. Now we head out of the final corner for the first time of 35. Charles Leclerc, our teammate, leads the field away. So hopefully no DRS train will form. So it's just getting the power down coming out of these long corners is what's really affecting my lap times and my pace, as well as my confidence with myself and my abilities. Just not able to throw the car into some of these corners.
Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy.
So team wanting us to use some of our overtake already, so they think we are quite a bit faster than the cars in front. Can we summon up the inside on Valtteri Bottas? Yep, there it is, and he's not gonna fight that one too hard, or maybe it was just that he didn't think we would send it from that far back, but we certainly did this Ferrari much faster than our customer team Kick Sauber. So now we're up into 12th position on the outskirts of the points behind Alex Albon. So like I said, those kinds of moves will need to be made all evening if we want a decent result. So Oscar Piastri in the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix from Charles Leclerc.
Okay, mate, engine's running very hot. Engine very hot. Let's try and pull out from behind the car in front and cool things down.
Well, that was expected from the very start of this race because of all the dirty air and the nature of this circuit. It is going to be very difficult to keep the engine temps down, so not sure what he really wants me to do as we're falling so far back from Alex Albon. Not sure what my problem is right now. So this is not great news for us. I really need to focus up here. But I'm not sure why our pace... This is our genuine pace, too. Because now we're out of the DRS range from the cars in front, and that is a big problem. Well, just the fact that we are not able to get up to the back of a Williams, who on any other day we would otherwise just fly past and have no problem with, really just shows that I am not comfortable with this circuit. This leg of the season is definitely my strongest from Spain to Singapore. However, this track, who's right in the middle of it, really kind of cuts that in half because this is not one of my strongest circuits. And I've always known that, but not to the extent that we've seen today, such as in qualifying. Qualifying P17 is just honestly kind of shocking. As now Alex Albon is pulling away as we've got a big spin, and now we are going to fall all the way down to P16 behind Zhou Guanyu. At this point, I'm honestly just considering retiring the car. I just put new engine components in. All this dirty air is going to do more damage than good as well. I'm going to keep running. Let's see what we can do in terms of strategy. So now all the hard work we've done is now undone. We're gaining ever so slightly on Kevin Magnussen ahead. I'm just going to go for an absolute lunge up the inside. Very risky move there, as now he's just going to switch us right off the exit. And now here comes Lando Norris. But we're not going to let him by, so we're just going to force him out wide. Can we have the grip to stay ahead going around the outside? No, we aren't, but now we're going to head up the hill towards this fast, blind left-hander. And we're going to stay ahead of the McLaren man for now. So still in 15th. Let's see where we come out after our pit stop. But I am genuinely considering retiring from this race.
You've lost some time to the car behind.
Well, Magnussen and Ricciardo are going to go side by side now. Lando Norris is just going to whiz on right by us as we've been using so much battery to try to stay with this gaggle of cars ahead. The fact that I'm even saying that about a Sauber, RB, and a Haas is just absolutely astonishing, as there goes Lando Norris right the way past us. So we're going to lock up. And yeah, absolutely no grip out of the corners. Traction is terrible. Boat through the longer corners. And yeah, just not really have any confidence right now. Can't throw the car in like I want. And it hurts even more because our teammate is leading the Grand Prix. Being at this track just makes me remember the French Grand Prix and how in 2022 this would be the race after Silverstone was Austria, and then after Austria came the French Grand Prix.
We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time.
So yeah, I loved that track. It's very underrated, in my opinion. People say it was terrible, but since they returned there in 2018, I believe it was, Le Castellet was... It had some pretty decent races. I mean, 2021 was pretty good, with the strategy battle going on. Because now we've got Tsunoda coming up the outside there, but we're going to slam the door on him. But yeah, as I was saying, it was one of my favorite tracks. I loved to drive that track in the RB16B on F1 2021. Such a good track, and I miss it. I do. They had it in F1 23, but they removed it in F1 24. Why? I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, that track is now removed from the game. Probably won't ever see it return, which it makes me sad because I always used to put that track into my team career modes. Unfortunately, you can't really do that with your driver career mode. The only bonus track that's not on the calendar right now is Portugal. So yeah, shame they removed it, but it is what it is, even though it upsets me. And now there goes Yuki Tsunoda straight on past me. We're gonna launch it back up the inside, get it planted off the exit, kind of. Now he's going to have DRS. Is he going to go for a move? He knows better than to go up the inside there. So yeah, there's no point in continuing this Grand Prix. We're going to stop at the end of next lap, see what that gives us, but I'm thinking we're just going to retire the car at this point. I know there's always opportunities available, but even if we get a safety car or a red flag or something like that, it's not going to change what our pace is. So yeah, I'm just heartbroken, and this is going to bash our confidence. But we're going to try to come back at Spa-Francorchamps next week. Ooh, just get the car just about slowed down there. Lando Norris is definitely being held up by Magnussen. This corner has been really pissing me off this weekend. It just, that's like, I don't know what it is. The car won't bite. The braking is terrible into that car, or corner. Pit window open, as now here comes the Japanese driver once again. Is he going to leave the outside line wide open? Well, you can't move under braking like that, Yuki. So we might have gotten alongside him again had he not done that little jink to the right, or left. This team wants us to pass Yuki Tsunoda once again as we just go onto the curbs there, over the grass. Don't know if we'll be able to stay with him, and yep, there goes the engine. So now, this day has gone from bad to worse. Engine blows up, we don't even have to retire on our own. Thank you, Ferrari, for this wonderful weekend. We're going to pull off to the wayside, park it by the barriers, switch everything off, and retire from the Hungarian Grand Prix.
And it's Monaco go for Charles Leclerc as he takes the checkered flag and wins.
Well, that's 2 wins in a row for them now. That's really going to help them gain confidence and start to build that momentum that they're really going to be looking for.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
Well, there we go. Charles Leclerc wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. So, absolute masterclass from the Monegasque driver. Our teammate clearly been in great form recently. Of course, winning his first race of the season last time out at Silverstone. Sergio Perez coming home to finish second. A return to form for the Mexican for sure, as well as Oscar Piastri in third for McLaren. So as the champagne sprays, I think tears will spray for us.
It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Well, there we go. As I said, Leclerc, Perez, Piastri in the top 3, and then Max Verstappen just behind. So it's like Max was really held up by those drivers ahead. He started pole, got a terrible start, must have stalled or something to go that far down. Then we have George Russell after Fernando Alonso staying in 5th, and Lewis Hamilton. And then Lance Stroll, Lando Norris making a good recovery from last when we saw him, up to 9th. And then Alex Albon scoring a point for Williams. In 10th, then comes Pierre Gasly, Daniel Ricciardo, Esteban Ocon, Yuki Tsunoda, Logan Sargent, Nico Hülkenberg, Kevin Magnussen, and Zhou Guanyu rounds off the grid in last, and we have a DNF. So, yeah, heartbreak for us here at the Hungaroring. And now, that, of course, means that our teammate's going to be right up on us, 2 points behind us in the championship, now taking 26 points out of me, since of course he does have the fastest lap, and now our lead to Red Bull has been cut a little bit. So of course that means that Max Verstappen, even by only 12 points, he is going to pull away from us in the standings, which may not sound like much, but at the end of the season, if we lose the title by 12 points, we will know where they went. But yeah, with our rivals, of course, scoring 30 points here today, Red Bull will gain on us by 4 points in the championship. So yeah, that is all for this video. Absolute heartbreak, of course. But we're going to try to come back strong at Spa next weekend if we can get the car set up right. But it is goodbye for now, and I'll see you guys next time out in the Ardennes Forest of Belgium.